number of talks since the time the lockdown was introduced, and I was so fascinated with the response. We didn't have a choice to stop it because we want to continue till as long as the members need them. Actually, now we have sent you a detailed mail of the complete listed program. We have done it as see the way the music academy and musician do it over the sessions, all the through the music session. We also giving a management session during this period from morning till evening. We have listed out all the programs for you, and just to recap some of the live programs. In fact, last night many of the viewers watched the program on memories of M.S. Viswanathan and by one of the famous singer. It was fantastic actually. S.P. Balasubramaniam. A lot of people liked it. Like that, we are bringing program curated exclusively for you, which is relevant to the current economic scenario and current situation. Like this evening, we are having EQ and SQ by Swami Chidananda, and this is to fuel the sail through the hard time. He's another fantastic. He's going to talk to us from Himachal Pradesh. He's IIT gold medalist, very clear mind, and the EQ SQ, which is very impactful during this difficult time. On 21st of April, 6 p.m., we have got the current economic scenario crisis and the way forward by none other than Dr. Arun Kumar. He is an economist from JNU, one of the finest author, and who really speaks his mind very clearly with the right means right, and he calls a spade. So you can really listen from him what exactly in picture, or is it all rosy the way that many people talk to us on the television and newspapers, or he has got something inside which is there and you want to listen to him. Tomorrow 6 o'clock he is going to be there for you. Again on 22nd April 6 p.m. we got a post-COVID idea 3+5 guidelines for building, empowering and initiating. And this is again we have got one outstanding speaker, R. Gopalakrishnan, former executive director of Tata Sons. He is kindly agreed to speak to us on this. And he's a great thought leader, great experience in this. And I think it's worthwhile listening to him live at 22nd April 6 p.m. On 23rd April at 11 a.m. We got success mantras for Instagram, and we have got an international speaker, Dania Balasubramaniam. She's going to be talking to us from USA, and she's going to tell us how 7 success mantras. She's got more than 80,000 followers and thing, and she does quite a bit of Instagram facilitation and promotion for fashion designing and much more. I think it will be a very good idea for our people to use another technique, and which will be very useful for them in their own entrepreneurial journey or whatever may be there. Even you are on Instagram, you can really get more followers for you. Dania is going to be talking to us at 11 a.m. on 23rd April. Then on 23rd April again at 6 o'clock, we have even COVID lessons learned from the failures. We got former bureaucrat R. Shivaraman, former finance secretary, will be going to be talking to us. On 24th April at 6 p.m., dealing with the known and unknown in the COVID. Again, Mridula Ramesh, you all know she's a famous known person. She's in TBS group of family from Sundaram Textile. She's going to be talking to us. She's also a specialist on task cultural issues and not task cultural. She's also specialist on environmental issues. So you'll be happy to hear her. On 25th April, again, is an excellent talk by on branding, be a diamond in the sky. So this is an opportunity for you to be a diamond in the sky, which how you enhance yourself with these qualities. Vijay Parsati, brand guru from Bangalore, is going to be talking to us. We also thought we must bring you a program on cybersecurity, which is going to happen on 28th of evening. We have got two cyber specialists. They are going to be talking to you. Then on the 2nd, we have got Bharat Bala, who made this Vande Mataram, along with Aishwarya Manivan. They are going to celebrate 3,000 years of Silamam in Chennai. And Bharat Bala is going to talk what made him passionate to produce some films which are so impactful. He's going to be there. Then we are also going to talk on 28th. We have got G.D. Sharma, one of our members, great singer. He said, you're all talking management thing. Why can't I entertain our team with some lovely songs and relevant to management and mind management? So we're going to bring you some lovely musical program too with relevant to management and music, which is going to happen on 28th. And you will hear all this. The circulars have all been sent. Now, coming to today's program, as I mentioned, I walk miles to listen to Ranjini Manian. In fact, when I met her, you get so fascinated and inspired to listen to her all the time. Every time we meet her, we get inspired, we get charged that we must do something. And having achieved everything in life, many of us settled down, okay, everything is done. But she is having achieved her profession. She went on to start a great foundation to impact a large number of women, whereas by now she has impacted more than 1 lakh of women in terms of work from not for that comfortable society. And just a brief profile about Ranjini Mani, she really doesn't need an introduction. And she's an author, philanthropist, and she has over 2 decades of entrepreneurial journey with, and she's also a cultural ambassador. In fact, I had the privilege of attending one of the events of Silver Jubilee. I could see the way the entire embassies and the foreign nationals, the way they respect her, that clearly shows how much she's impacted them in their comfortable settlement in India on relocation and cooperation issues. Concentration more focus on global citizens on the relocations, and also she is presently the founder chair of Global Adjustments Foundation. And as I mentioned earlier, she impacted more than 1 lakh women folks as on today. And we also do some lot of joint program with her to empower our women who are more women student members of MMA. She's also champion woman initial 1 lakh, and she's also by qualification she has done a master's in psychology. She's also a master in French literature, and she's got a doctorate for recognizing her excellent work done in the field of social. And I'm quite sure we are going to have a feast of a time listening to her on mindful to mindful, which is very, very relevant topic today, because this theme by itself doesn't require a clear definition. At the end of the day, you have to be mindful to be mindful, actually. And she's going to make you learn more what is mindful to mindful. And I don't want to really preempt what is going to speak to her. And I'll present to you Ranjini Manian to talk to us mindful to mindful. Over to you, madam. Thank you once again for so kindly accepting the invitation. Over to you, madam.
Thank you very much, dear group captain. You're always very generous in your praise in the introductions. And I can't tell you how happy we all feel in our team to have this partnership with MMA. It has been a real wonderfully rich, enriching partnership, because we learn all the time when we interact with you. And we have a little bit to share as well, and to have this wonderful audience of your members who are genuine management people in their own right, whether they're entrepreneurs or from corporates or from college. The MMA members, I find, have a very high finesse in their intellectual capacity. Whoever I've interacted with in your groups have always brought home the idea that they are here to learn and to share as well. So to be with you as an audience today is very, very special. Thank you very much. I was hoping to spend the next 45 minutes that we have together, I guess, in a sort of a simple agenda. The first part is just setting the context of the topic that we are hoping to discuss together. What is mindfulness? And that our mind is already full of so many things we know. But when you remove one L and make it mindfulness, it's a new buzzword, right? That we hear the whole world talking about. So what is the real essence of it? What does that mean? How am I going to be impacted by this? How is it going to help me in my life? Especially in COVID times when I'm working from home, I'm managing my home and my work. There are a lot of demands on me emotionally and physically. How is this going to help me? So the first part is to just quickly set context for that. The middle part is to actually do some reading together, so we all share some ideas and visions around the reading. I picked a reading today about enhancing relationships while we're doing work from home, or while we're being supportive family to people who are working from home. The reading will be interesting. I'd like 5 volunteers for the reading. I'll invite you, whoever thinks they enjoy reading and that they read well or enjoy their own reading, please read slowly so we can all enjoy the words that we look together. We'll screen share the reading for you. It's from a lovely book that I use as my bedside reading for many, many years. It's a book called Take Your Time by Eknath Easwaran. And so we'll do that reading in the middle part. And towards the end of the agenda, I'm hoping we can actually practice the tool of mindfulness, which in India 5,000 years ago was called meditation. And maybe some of us already do it and do it really well. And it might be a way for us to bring it back as an important priority for our time now, currently, in the situation that we are under lockdown. I saw a beautiful little WhatsApp that was doing the rounds, which said, when you can't go outside, why not go inside? And I was thinking, well, that would be really nice to do, to become a high priority. So I think some of this COVID times is going to make us actually come back to what's important. You know, the world seems to have pressed reset button, and nature seems to be saying, wait, are you all running too fast, trying to do too much? Are you forgetting your own priorities? you should be very successful materially. That's important. As the group captain beautifully explained in the introduction, I'm an entrepreneur of some 25 years, helping foreign direct investment become successful in India. So doing business is great. Money is not a bad word. It's good to make money, but can we do it with a little less stress? That's what I was hoping to share as a tool together with you, because that's been my life's journey. Resetting our goals, maybe refocusing on the current important stuff that's going to be important for all of us at home and at work. So that's the agenda. Let me tell you that before I sat down here to be in an atmosphere where I'm hoping that the Zoom is reaching you, some live social media platforms that MMA handles beautifully. You're able to watch the recording at your own leisure as well. But before that, before I came and sat down on this chair with a backdrop of a nice wooden carving, which we have in our home puja room door, those are the 9 planets, the Navagraha, which are here to bless us. I went out into the garden and I saw that nature is smiling. There's absolutely no problem. Nature is having a great old time. And I think nature is telling us you can thrive if you do what I am doing, which is growing and thriving. Let me do a share from the beginning. Sorry. Okay. So that was my first slide of mindful to mindful. And then here's what I was doing in the garden just a little while ago. I saw that the sunflowers are blooming. Usually our sunflower in Chennai don't bloom. But I don't know what nature is doing. It's giving us some lessons. So I looked at the sunflower and I thought, hey, can we thrive like the sunflower? No matter what's happening in the world, can we turn our face towards the bright light? It moves into the physical sun. Can we move into the light which is in our own heart, which is our mind, which is our emotion, which can keep us successful materially, but also doing it with much less stress? And then I walked into the garden and I thought, yeah, I think what we need to do is balance for better. You know, that was the word that the Women's Foundation was coming up with last year for Women's International Day, balance for better, women wanting to balance home and work. But I was looking at balance for better today in the garden with, can we balance body and mind? Can we take some time now to balance both these? We do a lot for our body. Hopefully we are doing it even now to stay healthy. We can't be eating all the things in the refrigerator but just because we're in lockdown. We have to look after our body, eating nutritious food, but also exercising, right? Staying indoors still has a lot of Zoom classes for taking care of our body and looking after the exercise part. So can we take care of our body with maybe pranayama and yoga and all of the other things that we can do even seated at home? And along with that, can we take care of our mind? So when I came back from the garden, I decided, it's completely possible. Nature is telling us that you can balance from the stress outside and our anxiety inside by physically and mentally looking at our own well-being. So the buzzword in today's program is, let's be a little selfish. What do you mean? I'm saying, let's take self-care and self-love as our top priority. And that's not such a bad thing to be self-centered. It's not at all selfish in not wanting others to be happy. But only if you make yourself happy can you give happiness to others, right? So that's why mindfulness becomes a very important way of life. I'm trying to move the slide forward. There you go. So I was hoping that we can balance all of this by doing the reading that I have here on the screen. I hope you're able to see it. So I'd like to have a first reader. I don't know if I can invite, can I invite Lakshmi maybe from my team, from the Champion Woman Foundation of Global Adjustments, to start the first reading?
Thank you, Ranjini. Good morning, all of you. So this is reading time. This is, as she already mentioned, it is from a book, Take Your Time. And here we are going to talk about take time for relationships. Personal relationships are often the first casualties in speeded up way of life. Take time for relationships may sound like odd advice. It's true that relationships require time, sometimes a good deal of time. But it is time well spent.
Thank you, Lakshmi. So I'm sure those of you who are out there agree that relationships can take time. And when we are very speeded up, what happens? We end up taking our gadgets and playing with our cell phone all the time in front of people who are sitting in, whom we love most, and they're trying to say something to us. We're not even looking into their eyes. When is the last time we actually listened with our eyes, ears, mind, and heart at somebody that's talking to us whom we love very much? So that's important. May I invite Group Captain to read the second reading, sir?
Personal relationships are often first casualties.
So that's done, the next para. There you go. Sorry.
Now it's gone.
Sorry.
Take a simple questions of meals. As the pace of life has accelerated, I think it is getting.
It's getting hidden?
Yeah, in the picture, it's getting hidden.
Sorry. Okay, that's me. Okay.
Many of us have got out of the habit of sitting together and sharing a leisure meal with the family and friends. Often we eat alone in hurry or our feet on the run or behind the wheels. I know people who seldom eat a meal at leisure. They forge a string of together a series of snacks. This is not only result of hurry. It add to it. We can it add to it. We can slow down by taking the time, making the time, find a friend or two, and create little oases in our way where we can shut the pressure around us and enjoy the human company.
Thank you very much, Group Captain. So I'd like a comment or two. Padmaja, you were here very early in the group. I'd love to hear from you. Does any of this reading resonate with you? Is there a sentence here that makes sense for you?
Unmute Padmaja, sorry.
It can be anyone else also. Please
Yes.
think about the reading. Anyone else that's there, Krishna, Subodh, can you think of a sentence here that actually makes sense for you?
Hi, ma'am. This is Padmaja here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
This is just fantastic, and I always delve upon this saying that we need to spend some quality time and be mindful while eating, especially when you cook for the loved ones, and when they see and they eat, they cherish. There's so much of fulfillment, and this fulfillment is unparalleled. It's excellent what you have just made Group Captain read. It's awesome that we need to spend some quality time focusing on the relationship, and that enables everybody to be very harmonious. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Padmaja. You're right about cooking for loved ones. We can add a little dollop of love into that food also. That's great. That's fabulous. Who else would like to comment on anything? What about this sentence of, sometimes we get out of the habit of sitting together and sharing a leisurely meal with loved ones. Has this happened, and has this lockdown made it better in that form for anybody?
Hi, ma'am. Yeah, good morning. Sundar from MMA.
Yes, Sundar.
Really, the lockdown has made us very much with family. We are enjoying too much. Apart from the work, also we are enjoying too. We can spend more time with family. This is the yes, ma'am.
That's great, because otherwise we are so busy we can't sit with them and eat, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So hopefully after COVID also we will find the time to be with our family fully present when we have to be with them. Sure. Well, thank you for all those comments. Those physical sharing of your own examples makes all the difference in a program like this, because we really learn from each other. That's what happens. So let me ask for the next reader. Who would like to read next?
I can, ma'am.
Go ahead. Who are you?
Padmaja here.
Go ahead. Yes, I see you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Take time for relationships. Eating together is considered a sacrament in many cultures. These simple bonds play a part in holding a society together. So, even if you live alone, arrange to share a meal regularly with friends and family. I know people who live alone through choice, but who carefully maintain and nurture personal relationships by getting together with friends to prepare and enjoy meals. It is not only nutrition you are getting when you do this, but also the loving companionship shared by everyone at the table.
Yes, that's very nice. Thank you, Padmaja, for that reading.
You're welcome, ma'am.
So sometimes, you know, for the people who live alone, I mean, this book was written for an American audience, so many of them live alone, but most of us are living with our family. So that's the silver lining, isn't it, in this lockdown? I see that Lakshmi says it's the silver lining in the lockdown. You're absolutely right. And now what can we do? We can use tech time, I mean, virtual time because of tech to say, let's eat a meal together. I know that one of my family friends, her son is in Ireland and her daughter is in New York. So they just eat one meal together by dialing in and doing such a call and eating together and just discussing their day without the other gadgets, but having the virtual Zoom gadgets. But yeah, thank you. That was a good reading. Who would like to read the next paragraph? Sorry, go ahead. Can I pick on Bonica? Bonica, are you there? You were there. You said you're an MMA member.
Hi, ma'am. I'm definitely here. You might hear some background noise, though, which is why I didn't volunteer to read. I'm, joining the Zoom meeting with my 2-year-old son. So he wants to say hi to all of us, though.
What's his name?
I'll take up this piece and read for you, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Personal relationships, of course, not only take time, they take quality time. This is especially true with children, where what matters is not the number of hours we spend, but also the attention we give, the love we show, the extent to which we enter into the child's world instead of dragging him or her into our own. Schedules are fine at the office, but children have a sense of time that is very different and not much more natural. They don't know about appointments, parking charges, and living in the fast lane, and we cannot make them understand. All we can do is hurry them along. What a paragraph for me, ma'am.
Bonica, I'm so happy. Look how perfect it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. So that was meant for him. What's his name?
His name is Ganapati Raj. We call him Gan.
Ganapati Raj. What a beautiful name. You can mute yourself and
yes, ma'am, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. See, this is exactly it, isn't it? That when the children, we spend time with children, you become childlike. That is the best tool for mindfulness. They often say, spend time with a child and you will become mindful. Mindfulness is nothing but being in the present and being completely in the present. When you do that, your own pure and wise self, which is in your mind and heart, begins to come out. And it absolutely becomes much more with much more clarity, concentration. And when you go back from the mindfulness experience into, let's say, a work mode, you can totally concentrate and do a great job. You might have heard of the story of Einstein, right? When Einstein used to be completely involved in a meeting and he was doing the relativity project, he would be so concentrated and so deeply one-pointed, completely present only on what he was doing, that one day he said to his friends, well, I'd like to continue to do this, but you know, tomorrow morning I have to take a class, so now I have to tell you all to please leave. And then the host turned around and said, yes, Albert, but you know, you are in my house. So that's how fully present people can be. He forgot that he was not even in his own house. So if you're completely mindful and present exactly where you are, like we all are right now in this reading and in this group fellowship, we will be able to forget about everything else that's nagging at the back of our mind and giving us worry. So let me ask for another last reader, a final volunteer, please. Go ahead. Who would like to read? Prakash? Prakash Venkateshwaran. I just see a name and I'm Just
Yes.
requesting you. Go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Prakash. But somebody's mic is unmuted and therefore there's a little disturbance. Who could that be? Except Prakash, the others could be muted and mine. Go ahead, Prakash.
Take time for relationships. Adults can learn to slow enough to enter their world. It's not their job to speed up and join ours. Where is the hurry? What period of life is most precious than childhood? We understand its worth, but devote ourselves to slowing down the pace of childhood instead of rushing our children out of it. The time we spend on our children while they are young will be more than repaid when they reach their teenage years.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you. So, yeah, it's about the time we eat for our food with our family. Food is relationship building in Indian culture for millennia, right? We always say Atiti Devo Bhava. We bring people and we always offer them food. In fact, the Westerners I work with, they can't understand why when they say, I don't want, Indians don't stop. They say, but have something, but have something, but have a little more. And we give second and third. Because for us, food is relationship. And that's why I'm very confident that India will not only survive this COVID situation, but will thrive and will come out even stronger because we are very, very tightly knit as a group. So thank you for that reading. And so that was one aspect where I wanted to hear from some of you. And I just wondered if after those 5 paragraphs and those little discussions, if we might practice something together. If you are open to the idea of actually practicing what I have done for 3 decades now, it's called passage meditation. I wanted to share with you an inspirational passage from, again, Eknath Easwaran's books and his website, which is, he was a professor of meditation at Berkeley. And so he went from India and taught meditation as a full credit course subject for the first time in the US universities. And it became a very popular full credit subject. In India, of course, we're brought up with meditation. We do a lot of rituals. We in India, today's transitioning India, maybe we've forgotten the reason behind the rituals, right? So it's time now, I think more than ever before, to understand the rationale behind our rituals so that we can go back to basics of being mindful and meditating to make ourselves strong. So here's a passage and I was going to share it with you. And we're going to be reading. Okay, so that's the source of this reading, by the way, from Eknath Easwaran. And that website, bmcm.org, shows you a lot of passages and a lot of reading that you might enjoy. Reading with family is a way to build relationships in COVID times. My husband and I read every night before dinner, something inspiring like this, and we take that lesson for the next day. I hope you can try to do the same. So let me show you a passage, and if you like it, we will practice in silence later on and mentally repeat it. Here's one. It comes from the prayer by a saint called Teresa of Avila, and it's a very simple passage which I think is relevant for our time now. So it goes like this, very simple, 7 lines. Let nothing upset you. Let nothing frighten you. Everything is changing. God alone is changeless. Patience attains the goal. Who has God lacks nothing. God alone fills every need. When we say God, by the way, it doesn't mean any particular God in living in a particular heaven beyond the Andromeda galaxy. We're calling on the spiritual presence, the divinity in our own hearts. So with that idea, when we say the word God, let's maybe dwell on this passage, and I will demonstrate to you this form of passage meditation, which has worked very well in my life. You know, the point is anybody can follow any kind of meditation. It doesn't matter. But the point is to start meditating. One more book to read about meditation, one more discussion to have on meditation, we shouldn't be doing. The time has come to just start the practice. So let's look at the practice together. I will take a few minutes to ask you to settle down wherever you're seated, if possible in a silent space, or at least for the next 5 minutes to be still with your eyes closed, which is what I'm going to request you to do soon. We're going to do a mindfulness practice. We're going to sit with our head, neck, and back in a straight line. At this point, I request MMA to mute all mics, and people are also welcome not to have their videos if they don't want to have it on. So the idea is, can we sit with a straight spinal column, please, with our eyes gently closed? I invite you on a journey of going inward. Please follow these words of a guided meditation, taking me time so that our own wisdom and purity, which is within, may come forward into our conscious life and guide us throughout. With your eyes gently closed, please focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Inhale love and compassion for those around you. And exhale all worry and anxiety. Just focus on your breathing. See how effortlessly the breath goes in and out. Now we will do a body scan, which is a beautiful mindfulness tool. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Your shoulders are relaxing. Just take your attention to the body part that I am naming and relax it. Relax your upper back. Relax your lower back. Your legs, your feet are completely relaxed. See how the earth is supporting you as you sit in complete relaxation. Your hands are relaxed. Your fingers, your palms are open on your lap, either intertwined or open to the world to accept all possibilities. With this relaxed body and mind and your breathing that is supporting you, please mentally follow me in the inspirational passage that I will repeat, and I want you to follow in the same slow speed in your mind. Let nothing upset you. Let nothing frighten you. Everything is changing. God alone is changeless. Patience attains the goal. Who has God lacks nothing. God alone fills your every need. Mentally repeat just these 2 lines over and over to yourself for the next minute, and I will play some music to keep you centered. It is natural that your mind may leave to other thoughts. Don't stop it, but gently bring it back to the 2 lines that we are now practicing. Just like a little child bring your mind lovingly back to the words of these two lines. Let nothing upset you. Let nothing frighten you. Let nothing upset you. Let nothing frighten you. You may gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Few seconds, deep inhalation, long exhalation. Bring your mind back to the relaxed body. And when you hear a bell, you may open your eyes gently with a big smile and deep gratitude in your heart for this world and everyone around you in it. Thank you very much, my dear MMA friends. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity of spending me time and me space together with you. You're welcome to turn on your video, or you can unmute your mic if you'd like to say something. If you'd like to say something.
Let's take some questions, madam. I think it'll come on a chat mode as well as we prompt you some questions.
Sure, I can do that.
I
can do that.
Can you please type your question on the chat mode? Meanwhile, we are collating the questions which has come from Facebook and YouTube and other live webinar.
Sure. Group captain, how much time do we have? About 10 minutes? Or?
Yes, 15 minutes. Easy.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, yes.
That's good. That's good. I'd like to, while I wait for the first question, I'd like to also just leave this slide on the screen with you. I hope you can see that I have my gratitude journal out there. Because ending the day with gratitude, starting the day with silence and me time is good. And ending the day with gratitude is a wonderful way to be mindful. Write at least 3 things that you're grateful about. In the beginning, you think, I don't know, I can't remember 3 new things every day. But as you keep practicing on a gratitude journal, you'll find that the list keeps growing. And it's very, very easy to go to bed with your heart filled with gratitude. That's another tool I'd just like to leave with you. And now I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah. Let me be the first question which has come to us, madam.
Yes.
Now the technology has come so much, it's intruding into the personal life. And I believe most of us have become slaves of whatever the instrument, like maybe it's a telephone or iPhone or maybe. Now it also impacts our life because every 20 minutes you go to the telephone to see the messages. Now, even staying at home, everything is virtual, it's more. How do you come out of this habit which really impacts? I believe when you get into you go and look at your message, it takes another 30-35 minutes to come back to normalcy of focusing on. So
Yeah.
this is the one which, the amount of loss of man hours, virtual man hours because of this impact. How do you keep that frenzy mind away from, go and touch? No, you should not touch your phone. Come what may. How do you do that?
Very good question, group captain. You know, I have a psychiatrist friend who's making tons of money because he's finding gadget addiction to be the maximum number of patients he has. So I think that's also a form of addiction, isn't it? The dopamine in our brain jumps up every time a message comes and we feel like, oh, somebody wants me for this, somebody wants me for that. So I think we have to just divide our day into some times when we prioritize our other things that we have to do and not be with our gadget at that time. Eating is one such example. We just looked at it. After we started meditating and making this kind of mindfulness as a very high priority in our life, we don't eat with any gadgets around us. We keep it in another room and we go and eat. After all, man lives to eat well and to be nutritiously looked after, right? At that time, if we return our phone calls or we quickly check a message, or we say, I'm just searching for the calorie intake of the food that I'm eating, that also we need a gadget. All of those are examples why the mind gives us a reason why we need the gadget. We just have to be tough on it and say, you know what, I'm never going to bring a gadget to my dining table. I'm never going to eat while I do something else on a phone or a laptop or any other device. That's one easy way to start. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 times in a day, I don't use my gadgets. And the other thing to do is to maybe have the first priority of the day as a start with meditation and me time. So then we don't wake up in the morning and we look at our phone. Nowadays, we're getting up like this. We got to stop that. We don't touch our phone in our home, for example, till we finished our meditation and we've gone for our short walk around in the garden itself. So if we take 1 or 2 rules, and each person has to set their own rule, right? It's not possible for my life's rule to work for somebody else. But we've got to have some areas where we have no gadget time. Because you're right, time gets sucked up by the gadget. Multitasking has become our way of life. So I encourage everyone to think about a little bit of unplugged time. Which will it be?
Thank you, madam. Very clear and good input.
Thank you. Krishna here is asking.
Yes.
Yeah, in the chat. May I read it?
Yes,
Krishna
please.
says, an additional point to the question that group captain is saying is, even if you decide to stay away, there is an expectation that you have to meet to respond within a time frame. And in today's times, it becomes even more critical that you look and respond. How do we meet this expectation without affecting yourself and the receiver? Very good question, Krishna. I had a situation like this with a group that we work with, exactly like this. So you actually cannot, whatever rule that you have set for yourself, as in work from home times, you can't say at that time, I'm not going to look at my gadget. That's counterintuitive, right? Because your job is being paid now, whether you're in the office or not. So at that time, the expectation will 100% be there that you have to be available to the response. But you know, at off work hours time, even on weekends, we have to stay integrated now. Work and life has become integrated. So maybe just tell your boss or your colleague or your client, there's this 1 hour when I may not be looking at my phone, but I'll get back to you after this. Nowadays, in waking hours, it's not possible to go without responding for 2 hours. That's too long, right? So let's be honest, especially in this time, we've got to be able to come back and give some quick responses, because other people's jobs are depending on how we respond and how quickly we give solutions. So I hope that helps you, Krishna. Give advance notice to people about the time chunks when you're not going to be available, and it cannot be in the waking hours for more than 1 or 2 hours. I hope that answers you. Does it? So I'm hearing some more questions here. Padmaja is saying, when you're having amazing answer, but when you're getting near and dear relationships turn virtual thanks to technology, my life phone is inevitable, ma'am. Yes, our phone has become our third hand. I think Saraswati and Lakshmi will also know that that is the device that they have to keep holding in their hand, because our families are connected through it. But I still say, come back to Padmaja. Unless you are happy, unless you take the time for yourself, you cannot make others happy. So first take that time for yourself. And I suggest that you do this kind of meditation. Did you enjoy the practice that we just did together? It was only 8 minutes. If you can take 10 minutes to start with, go ahead. Was that enjoyable?
Absolutely enjoyable, ma'am. In fact, I'm going to practice it and also share it with all my delegates in the future.
That's great. Because see, unless you take this time for yourself, and it's better to take it first thing in the morning. Whenever you wake up a little bit earlier and take this time in the morning. Because if I find, at least, if I've passed 45 minutes after I've woken up, life is happening around me. I can't then take me time. So I make this 30 minutes my priority within the first hour of waking up. I do 30 minutes of meditation. I'm only requesting newcomers or new practitioners to do 10 minutes to start with. So if you do it in the first morning, you'll find that the day will bring challenges, but you'll be able to answer them by responding to challenges rather than reacting. You know, when we react, has this happened to people? I didn't want to say that, but it just came out. And then we feel so bad that we said it that way, correct? Who gets hurt more when we say something rude or mean, which we didn't mean to people that we love?
Absolutely, ma'am. Fantastic.
We feel bad, right? Sorry, I hear a man's
another
voice.
question, madam, a little away from the topic, actually,
okay,
though.
Go ahead.
It says, madam, the way the countries are now looking, they're looking inwards. They are very scared about what's happening around the world. Now, under these circumstances, you may have to look at global adjustments. You have to make it as a global readjustments actually today, because
yeah, that is true, Group Captain. I think mindfulness and emotional intelligence and steady emotional well-being is here to stay. And I think we have to, what did somebody say the other day? BC and AD, right? Before COVID and after disaster time. So we may have to think about readjusting to this new way of life. But this new form of life is going to make us stronger, is going to make us well bonded. And yes, the economic slowdown, I mean, it's going to be challenging. Yesterday, RBI governor is giving us a light at the end of the tunnel, saying we'll go to 7.4% GDP in 21-22. But for that, we all have to work really hard and really smart, right?
There's a question in your inbox, madam.
You have podcasts. Is that the one? How do I get myself? Okay, Monica. How do I get myself to do this consistently every single day? Constancy is my challenge due to demands on my time. Okay, Monica, I'll tell you a secret of what I did. I told my mind, "Ni romba chamatte, you're a good person, but you know what? You're not getting breakfast unless you've meditated today." And I had to go without breakfast a few days because my mind was telling me various reasons why it can't do it. So 21 days of practice and consistency is important, Monica. I hope that you can do that. And all other demands will become easier. They're just excuses by our mind. No, you have to do this, you have to do that. First, just give yourself this priority. Try for 21 days, stick to it, it becomes a habit. And then the carrot and stick with our mind helps a lot.
There's another question, madam. They is asking about anger management. He says, we heard you do meditation, pranayam, you do anger management, you really calm down. Is there a direct, is it significantly proved doing such thing? He says in his experience, he's not really brought down his anger that much.
Okay. As you meditate and as you become a more mindful person, there are three things that will be a tool, a testing tool, whether you're getting better. And that it's called, you can think of the word FIR, frequency, intensity, and recovery period of anger will go down if you are effective and if you are regular with mindfulness and meditation. First thing on waking up, if you do this, the benefits of it will help you in anger management through the day. But let me tell you, if right now a colleague is irritating you or a customer is shouting at you, sometimes we hear this in global adjustment, you Indians are all liars. You said the plumber will come at 3 o'clock, he never came. One plumber didn't come at 3 and all Indians are called liars. That's what happens in our field, Then you feel like getting angry back. What do you mean all Indians are liars? That's what you don't want to say. You know you shouldn't say it, but it comes. So for anger management, at that point, you can't say to your customer, "Can you just wait? I'll go meditate and I'll come back." He's not going to wait for you for that, right? So there is another tool, and that is a quick magic word that we should have. It's called the mantram in India. So you pick up a word from your faith. If you're Hindu, sure, you can use the Mahatma Gandhi's mantram of Rama, 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 which stops you from saying all the things that anger gives you. And if you're Christian, the word Jesus itself is a beautiful mantram that comes to your aid if you practice it regularly. Allah itself is a beautiful word in the Islamic faith. So picking up a mantram like that and using it at non-angry times when you are doing mechanical tasks, when you're, I don't know, washing the dishes nowadays, now with COVID times, or folding the laundry, if you can just get your mind to keep using the mantram, then when anger comes, quickly that tool of the mantram will come and prevent you from saying things. So the anger will go away just from your mind instead of coming to your words and maybe also coming to your action. So I suggest that the anger management person tries to adapt a mantram and uses it regularly to control his own emotions.
There's another question on a chat, madam. I find it difficult to stay focused on what's happening in the present. So how can we do it? It seems I'm running on automatic without much awareness of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
From a member.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
So I guess staying focused on the moment and what's happening. See, there are two halves in our brain, as you know. We are right-brained and left-brained, you know. The right brain will say everything is fine, we're all connected, we should all be meditating, we're all good people. But the left brain will say, yeah, it's very easy for you to say. Do you know how much of business I have already lost in 23 days of lockdown? So it will be the judging brain on the left side. So right brain and left brain together as whole brain living is going to become important to practice if you have to stay at the moment and focused in the present. How do you do right brain and left brain living? You try to nip the negative thought that comes to you within the first 90 seconds. It's called the 90-second strategy. As soon as you begin to feel the negativity coming, it's only a feeling. Feelings come without asking us, they just come. But to make it an emotion, you should volatify that feeling. You should be saying to the feeling, yeah, come here, let me, yes, that person said that to you. It is wrong, he shouldn't have, you're such a good person. So if you allow the negativity to continue beyond 90 seconds, it'll be difficult for you to stay in the present. So nip it in the bud, as they say in the English phrase. Go ahead and make the mental exercises part of your life. Start the day with me time. Go to the same place in your home if you can. After some time, that place itself will give you calmness. Sit on the same chair, meditate at the same time if you can every day. And at the end of the day, go ahead and use gratitude writing, and it will help. Somebody else is writing.
Yes, yes, please go ahead, ma'am.
Somebody else writing. One of your slides says, slow down. In this fast pace, how can I slow down? Prakash is asking. Okay. How can you slow down? So slow doesn't mean slothful. It doesn't mean lazy. It just means slow down your thinking. The thing is, there is one thought and another thought, and there is actually a gap between each thought. Let's say, I love gulab jamun is one thought. I want gulab jamun is second thought. I'm going to grab the gulab jamun is the third thought. But you are on a diet and you don't want to eat gulab jamun. If you can put a little wedge between the three thoughts, you can actually stop yourself from eating it. And how do you do that? You suggest to the mind, why don't you try to eat an orange instead? It's a sweet thing. Do you want to try that first? And then you're able to slowly change and give other options and alternatives.
There's also a question from Vivekanand and Jagadishan. He's asking, good day, madam. How can we equally productive when we work from home comparing working from office?
That's a good question. Work from home and work from office mode. How can you do it? I guess set up your structure space in the same way. Inform other people that you're on work mode. Take frequent breaks as you do at work to go and get coffee and water. Stretch your legs. Every 20 minutes, the 20-20-20 principle, every 20 minutes, move from the screen to an object 20 feet away and look at it for 20 seconds. And then you'll come back refreshed to it. Have a task list. Go ahead and say, today I need to achieve these many things. and then set your own targets and report regularly with your teams and with your manager. Because work from home, Vivek, people are blind. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know if you're really working or you're being productive or not. So go ahead and report regularly. And in case you find you don't have enough to do, please ask your manager. They'll be excited that you're actually asking for more work. That's how you can be more productive, I hope.
This question
Sure, ma'am.
you mentioned earlier, what I should do when my mind wanders around thinking about various things during my meditation. You mentioned earlier also, whatever maybe you think you continue to focus, maybe you would like to add now.
Yeah, just bring the mind gently back to the words of a passage. Memorize the words of a passage. It could even be a shloka or something that you know have already memorized, but you should know the meaning of what you're saying. See, it is only a tool we're giving to the mind to come back and dwell on a word which it understands. When you do that, then the mind will keep coming back to the words. It'll again go. But don't worry, if in 10 minutes all you did is bring the mind back 30 times, you still made a very good effort of training your attention. It does two things. It trains your attention and you become what you meditate on. So positivity will become your way of life and you'll be constantly training your mind to come back.
One, maybe a last question, if I don't get anything more. They're talking about work-life balance. In the lockdown, we only work from home. How do you manage work-life balance? Either work or life, both are getting really not that much balance as you expect it to be balanced. So what's your word of advice to the people, both husbands and wife, both who are working, and when the woman takes more responsibility being working from home, she get more hassled. I read in a magazine, there's so much of stress is on women because she not only has to keep the what are the expectations from the office, from the boss thinks all the time she is available at home and she can do the work at all the time what the office expects. Same time, husband also, please get me a good cup of tea. I'm once in a while, a long time staying at home. Children expectations are more they want to do, and especially if you have grown-up children, the pressure is much more. So, how do you? What is your word of advice to the mothers who managing all this still they are very to be successful?
Good question, Group Captain, and I think it's the reality today. First of all, I would say to women, seek support. Speak up and say, can you help me fold the clothes after I finish washing and drying them? Ask. I ask my husband, he makes the bed now in our house. Unbelievable. He makes not only his bed, but my bed too. So ask for the support that you need. And then only you'll be able to get it. People can't guess what we want, we women. If you're feeling that it's overwhelmed and you have too many things going on, please say so. I have a colleague, Lakshmi, she's on this call. She said to me, I'm going to do a course this week and it's going to be on Singapore time zone. So please, can you not expect me to be available to you from this time to this time? And she said that at her home as well, because it's, now with COVID times, it's easy to become even better and learn a lot online, like you are all doing today with mindfulness. So one is seek support. Second is communicate that very, very clearly at all aspects. And work and life balance word is actually going away. I'm calling it work and life integration. You have to integrate the two. You have to be able to sometimes know that work is going to become the more of a priority because there is a big challenge. And at other times, home is going to become more of a priority because there's a challenge there. So communicate to both sides what you're feeling, what you're going through, what you need from them. And you'll see how easily the world will actually give it to you. Even to children, I'm saying, ask them for support. Tell them what you can and cannot do, and they will be able to understand it.
Great, madam. I think one more thing you may like to advise, the woman should tolerate the inefficiency of the men actually. Work at home, they really mess up the whole thing. The woman have to do double the work of what they have done. That's what happens in at least many places. Thank you so much, madam. It's been a fascinating last 1 hour. Great insight. I'm quite sure we all be gone mindful. I think with this practice, I think in the difficult times, I think each one of us will do really very well in whatever our endeavor. I thank on behalf of the MMM Management Committee for taking your time to be with us this morning, and others the members on this wonderful and very important topical theme, which I'm quite sure going to impact a large number of viewers watching this program live. Thank you, viewers who are watching this
And-
program. All over. Yes, madam,
And
please.
Group Captain, I'd like to end with this last slide. Please remember MMA always, everybody. M is me time at the start of the day. M is mindfulness throughout the day. And A is anchor at the end with gratitude. If you remember MMA for these three things, your life will be very good. And in case you'd like to stay in touch with us, Group Captain, we are available for your
Yes.
members. I just wanted to leave this slide of
Yes, please, ma'am.
wherever we have our audios also. You know, the audio I just did of 10 minutes, I saw Padmaja wrote that she's very happy with it. We have many more audios like this. Please feel free to take them from our YouTube and share them with your audience. It may be in the beginning useful to listen to an audio, and then I think you can do this meditation on your own. So thank you, Group Captain. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I
Oh,
wanted
not at all, madam. And we'll share this also with our members. And thank you so much. It's always fascinating to listening to you and interacting with you. We really enjoyed working with you and look forward to more such opportunities in future.
Thank you very much, everybody. And stay
Thank you.
safe and stay mindful.
Thank you, all the participants. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep learning. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Have a good day. Bye.